Hey everybody, welcome back to Core, where communication offers relationships, what? Empowerment.
Yes.
Hey, today's topic is men
Don't cheat.
don't cheat. Y'all saw that comment on there, right? Men don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
But today we're going to talk about the men that don't cheat and why they don't cheat. Hey, we have some special guests with us today.
Pastors Van and co-pastor Jackie Alexander, who've been friends with us for quite some years now, and we fellowship with them and enjoyed them.
Yes. So we're going to let Jim tell them a little bit about themselves and their ministry before we get into today's topic of men don't cheat, down to the core of the problem.
All right.
After you, babe.
Okay. Hey, I'm Pastor Jackie Alexander, and I am just so excited to be here with our friends, Lana and Fran. We're so happy to be here. But I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I guess my marriage, maybe? Or
Whatever you want. You
whatever.
got the mic.
All
You got the mic.
All right. So, been married for 38 years to my love, Van J. Alexander. Been in ministry for over 14 years. My ministries is before and after I say I do. That ministry I love dearly. Hashtag no divorce.
All right.
No divorce.
All right.
And so I focus on relationships, especially for ladies that are in relationships as single, divorced, married, complicated relationships, okay?
All right.
Then another ministry I have is Ladies Night with Pastor Jackie. And this is a ministry that's been going on for about 13 years.
Okay.
And it is a time when ladies come together and just talk about lady things.
Okay.
Things that men, the church don't talk about. And we don't bash men, but what we do is we just talk about those things that we just can't seem to click with our men. And so we have a panel of women that come and talk and share things, and we come out of there empowered, renewed, and inspired,
all right.
and encouraged. So I just want to plug this in real quick that on May the 27th, we're going to have Ladies Night with a men panelist. OMG. A men panelist. Ladies Night with a men panelist. And so I pray that you'll be with us, and we'll have tickets April the 5th on eventbrite.com. So we're looking forward to seeing you there.
All right. That sounds
All right.
All right.
Great.
Well, Pastor Van Alexander, and been married 38 years to this beautiful, exciting lady you just heard from. Ordained pastor for probably about, maybe 15 or so years. Been in ministry over 20 years. Married 38 years, 2 sons, 6 grandkids. And so we are happily married, and we have a wonderful family, and I thank God for it. At the current time, I am operating with my school of ministry. It's called CKC School of Ministry, where you can learn biblical studies. If you're a minister, you can be trained and taught biblical principles also that can help you in your ministry and in ministering the Word of God. And also my wife and I would do premarital counseling. My wife, she forgot to mention that she is a board certified counselor. And so we do a lot of counseling, and we're here to serve God's people and whosoever will. And so we're excited and happy to be here with Pastor Fran and Lady Lana Jones tonight. And I'm sure that you will be blessed by this broadcast.
Amen. Thank you. I told you we had resources. Y'all thought I was joking. Core got resources, y'all. The core does have resources to get to the core of the problem.
Yeah, so, we like to start off introducing the program by letting you know what brought us here on the podcast. And one of the things that has happened over the last few years is that we've seen a lot of brokenness caused by divorce, not only through friends and church members, but even in our family. And that's something that really has broken our hearts. And so we felt like maybe we should have done something, maybe been a listener or provided some resources for people so they could get to the core of what the problem was, because divorce just affects so many things, not just that couple, but other relationships. So we wanted to do a podcast to encourage you and help you to hang in there. We don't want to see any more broken families. So
Amen.
that's why we're here.
I tell you I love you. I love listening to you. So.
Well, thank you.
Here we back again. I found some interesting stuff on studying about this men don't cheat. So, extensive studies are published by AARP magazine found that 40% of men reported cheating on their partner in the past, compared to 21% of women. Another report from the Institute of Family Studies found that marriages, specifically about twice as many men, cheat. Wow. But check this out. Was a shocker to me. My producer said no, it wasn't. 74% of men and 68% of women admit they would cheat if it was guaranteed they would never get caught.
Wow.
You want to finish that last part?
60% of affairs start with close friends or co-workers.
Hey, look at that March 31. It ain't like it was yesterday.
So, when my husband brought up this subject, he asked me what I thought about that. Well, first of all, my husband is my best friend, so I'm not expecting him to cheat. He has been accountable to me. He's been transparent to me. And, you kind of get in a routine when you're married. You know where they are because they're calling and they're letting you know where they are or what they're doing. I'm stopping here. So, you can kind of tell what's going on when they're following that routine. So, I mean, what were some of your thoughts if someone asked you about your husband?
Well, one of the things that my husband affirmed with me, I'm not interested in nobody but you.
All right.
So I'm like, hands down, I'm good. But one of the things that we do is that when we're going somewhere separately, we let each other know we made it to that destination safely. Another thing, we know each other's password on our phones. So if he's talking to somebody, or it's just a way of letting you know that we have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And so we affirm and confirm each other in our relationship.
Right.
Yeah, basically, I just concur with what she said. I can just basically echo what she said, is that I'm not interested in any other woman. We got married 38 years ago. We met 40 years ago, actually, on this coming Sunday. And so I've been committed and dedicated to her ever since. And so I'm just not interested in anybody. I love God. I love my wife. I hold true to our marriage vows. And so therefore, I'm not interested. I don't care what she looked like, what she has to offer. I'm just not interested.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So, as a believer, when I was looking at this subject, I went to the word because, right off the bat, you can think in your head, okay, so, I don't know about this, but there is a conduct that's in the word that, God gives her. So as a believer, the word is my guide, And so one of the main things I think was, what did I want in a man? And so last week we talked about having a list of qualities and character that we wanted to see in a man. So first of all, when you get those things from your man that line up with the word, then you're not looking for them to cheat. So that was a strong thing for me.
Now, yes, we're all a little different. For me, I got eyes. I have desires. I can see a pretty fine woman walk past me. My wife knows that I have things that I do because I know I'm going to get attacked by the enemy. I know when I was preaching, when I was in powerful jobs, that you attract women and people to you.
Sure.
So I needed something to make me be accountable.
Yeah.
One of the first things I do when I get an attack, I see her, first thing out my mouth is what?
About my wife.
I ain't got to tell you. About my wife is the first thing to keep my wife. And I have names. My sweetie boo. She will tell you that people walk up to her in the
Grocery store.
And what do they call you?
Sweet. You must be Sweetie
Sweetie
Boo.
boo. See, that's my protection.
Yeah,
My ring.
yeah.
Dudes ask me, man, they look what I'm supposed to do. And I said, look, bro, I done have some things in place. I know where not to be.
Yeah.
To avoid stuff. I remember when I became celibate before we got married. You can't come in my house because my motto and my flesh was like, if a woman comes in my house, I love God, but I knew that it wasn't gonna work. It's not gonna work for me if you come in my house. So I have parameters for myself.
Yeah.
For myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And as you see up here, it says X. That's the kind of me and my wife talk, and this is what me and her came up that works for us. And I think couples should have what works for them. Yeah. For us, it's
accountability.
All right. Mm-hmm. She knows how accountability means. We ain't showing up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And nobody here controlling each other. We call it. My boys said they want to go out. Yo, we all going to so-and-so, to go play some pool. Yo, man, I got to call my wife. Oh, man, you got to call your wife, man. You so-and-so whipped. And I'm like, yeah, I got one. So I can be like that. I have a woman. Now, Shantae says, I got a man to go home to. I have a woman to go home. And out of respect for her, because she does nice things for me. She may have cooked. She may be surprising me to take me out. So out of respect.
Yeah.
I call my wife. Mm-hmm. And because I don't want her worried, and she does the same thing. It's how we look at words. And the next one is transparent and sex. Sorry out to... That's my daughter, y'all. See, I say sex, she probably like, ooh, my daddy.
So in accountability, Sister Jackie, I remember one at a time with one of our daughters, when she got to... when she graduated from high school, she came to us and said she didn't think she needed curfew anymore. And so I told her, well, honey, if Fran and I are accountable to each other about where we are and what we're doing, well, you're going to be accountable too. And it shows in our family the respect that we have for each other. So we just don't model that for each other, but for our children as well. And I'm sure in your household, you all have been accountable in certain ways. So, if you want to share.
Well, my wife had mentioned earlier that when we are out and about, we're leaving the house or going somewhere, we always let each other know, that, okay, I'm going here. When we make it there, we text and say, hey, I made it safely.
Yes.
There's nothing hid. Everything is uncovered.
Right.
Because when you can be accountable, then what that does, that takes away the doubt or the suspicion from your spouse.
That's right.
Because it's like, I'm leaving the house, I'll see you in about an hour. Okay, where you going? Well, I'm just going out. Well, where are you going? Okay. The spouse, the partner have a right to ask, where are you going? Even how long you going to plan to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a being accountable. And so therefore, with having those parameters, then that can take away that temptation to want to cheat.
Yes.
Because she know where you're going, or he knows where you're going.
Yeah.
And if you 2 hours, you say you're going to be an hour, I know where you went. So if she gets suspicious, well, I'm going to drive by where you said you were going. Right? Okay. And so therefore you're setting some parameters and you're setting that level of trust.
That's right.
Okay. It may be a time or two where we may say, oh man, I forgot to text you and let you know I made it. Cool. I might say, hey, did you make it all right? Because I'm concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you make it okay?
Yeah.
Because if it's been like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm like, okay, well, she must have been in an accident, her car broke down, something happened. A lot of stuff is going on these days. And so therefore, it's nothing for her to text me and say, hey, you made it. or I text her, you made it. We're being accountable.
Yeah.
And so,
Thank
and
you.
therefore, they can set those parameters
Right.
That's
Thank
right.
and temptations.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Instead of what's the other word they say? Oh, controlling. If you got that spirit and you think that's controlling, you probably shouldn't be married or want to get married. If you think that you don't have to answer to someone,
Come on
we
here.
all answer
That's
to
right.
someone.
That's right.
And if you have trouble want to answer to your wife, when I call my wife to tell her, ask her about going somewhere, they like, you asking your wife? I know my wife. She ain't gonna tell me no. What she's gonna do, say to me, oh, sorry about that, people. What she's going to say to me is, hey, if you want to, unless she has something going on.
Or
And I'm
something
like
planned.
you, that transparency and being accountable
Yeah.
is so very important to be accountable. Too many people now I see they call. I heard one woman say, "Well, he stayed out, but I don't want to be a nag." That's not nagging.
That's not.
Holding somebody accountable.
Yeah.
It's not nagging. And I hear a lot of women think that if they're
Right.
want to ask their man something or question something, they feel like they're being a nag. And I'm like, that no, you need to distinguish between accountability and nagging. And there's far. And that's just us. Like I said, find out what works for y'all, have a standard. For us, we're just telling you what we have, which is acts. I need accountability. I just got something to say. I saw that finger.
Well,
right? So that-
I wanted to say too that there's a safety element in accountability. You know, too many people we hear on the news coming up missing because nobody was checking on them to see if they made it to their destination
Yeah.
or whatever. And then it's several days later or hours later that someone realizes that they're missing. So there's an element
Yeah.
of safety
Yeah.
too in being accountable. So,
And it's not so much as controlling. You just want to make sure that your spouse have made it to their destination safely.
Thank you.
Period.
We got next on there.
Yeah.
the communication, we've talked about that. Transparency. I think Pastor brought it up that you're not trying to hide anything.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a question that people always ask out there, and I always put to people. Bank accounts.
Oh.
Bank accounts. I
That's
see the producer over there.
That's a touchy subject for some people.
No, before we talk about that, I want to tell you what my producer told me that, like, just don't say ain't some real men out here. He came to his wife, and he's the one who's the breadwinner.
Okay.
And he said, we need to have our money together. He's making all the money. He could have easily said, nah, I'm good the way we are. I can go get my little toys. I can do whatever I want. But as a man, the head of his household, he said, I'm going to tell you why, right? And for me, he had his reasons. For me, it's like, I don't want to give myself the opportunity. Because, like they said, 74% of men, I ain't no Superman. If I have some money over here, no romance, no finance. If I got money over here on the side and my wife don't know about it, that can be tempting. Now, you may not be the brother to get tempted, but I don't even want to have the opportunity to say, she didn't know. She won't know. They won't know. No,
Who's
I don't
gonna
even
know?
want to put I ain't
Who's
even
gonna
trying
know?
to put myself in there. So how do y'all come down? Because y'all been married about
38 years.
38
Going on
years.
38.
July.
So
July be
do y'all
38.
hold your accounts separately?
Well,
or
I'm
how
just
do y'all
so
do
glad
it?
you asked.
Okay, thank you.
We've been married, 38 years, and we have done this day one. We combined our income into one account, but we also have a separate account where it's our account, where we can do whatever we want to do with that money in that account. So that you have the primary account that takes care of the bills, and then you have a secondary account where it's whatever that you want to do with that account.
Okay.
And
And it works perfect.
It works for us.
See,
Yeah.
that's what I say. You do what works for you.
Yeah.
For me, that wouldn't work. Now, my wife has an account with our names on it for her to do what she want to do, but we both see it. I don't have one. but it makes her feel comfortable to have one. I'm like, cool, it got both of our names, but we sit down and talk. Because too many times when I'm coaching or counseling people, this would happen at the end of the year. The wife finds out that the brother buys everything. She ain't got to spend a dime of her work money. He'll get the car, everything. At the end of the year, she found out he made $70,000 more than she knew.
Oh, give me a break. Come on.
Then she start. Now, he paid for everything. He takes care of everything.
Okay.
You need a new car, babe? Pow, he'll do it. So finally, she said, huh? At the end of the year, he said, I do everything that you want and you need. You don't have no needs. But see, that suspension started to go in the head, like, what's he doing with that money? Is it going, and now he ain't talked about our retirement. Is that, is he invested in it? What he doing? But she was happy all year long. All year long. Till she found out. Yeah. Oh, he got some money.
But why didn't he share?
Because they had the arrangement, like you said. It was this. I will pay for everything. You can have your money on the side,
Well, then she should be okay.
No, that's most people, because she was not okay, because not every woman, but some women start to wonder, like, okay, what's he doing about our retirement? I know we got this over here. Maybe that trip he went on, what did he do with that money? It's just human nature for not everybody, but for a lot of people. If my wife had I love her, and she sold out to Jesus since she was 13 years old. But if she had a lot of money over on the side, right, that I found out at the end of the year, she had 100,000 that I didn't know about,
That's
right?
That's the key.
Oh, I'm gonna be real. I'll probably be like, oh yeah, she stayed out an extra hour the other day. What the? I'd just be wondering, That's me. Yeah. So you have to do what works for you.
Yeah.
We work for Brother Fran.
Yeah.
Well, I think that even if Van or myself had money set aside and we didn't know anything about it, now I'm the one that would like hold it and say, come out and say, baby, look what I got. I've been, holding this, saving this. So to surprise you. Now that's something I would do. Now, that's one thing we do not have a problem with is money. We have investment accounts. We both know what's in it. So if he have extra dollars in the secondary account, I'm good, because I know he gonna tell me. Yeah, I have extra money in my secondary account. He'll know about it.
Yeah, and we have access.
We have access to each other's account.
Yeah,
so
I can go online.
Yeah,
check her account.
Yes,
or she can check mine. Yeah. It don't matter. Yeah. But see, that's the kind of thing that can bring longevity to a marriage.
Yeah,
transparency, being accountable, not trying to hide nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to hide stuff,
that's where problem comes.
That's where problems come. If you're going to be married, if you're going to be bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, you got to be money of your money too.
Come on now. Come on.
That's why my reason is that you have it together.
Yeah.
So if I have a 50,000 over here, if we put it together and we invested in a stock, we're gonna make more than if I don't do that. If I had the 50 over here and she got 10 over here or whatever she had, when we put it together, we both still have access.
Yeah.
And we both can see it now. Yeah. But that's going to make money. It's going to make more money because it's more money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one reason. But like I said, whatever works. I just run into too many people. They argue over money, which is ridiculous.
It is
you
ridiculous.
Have it or you don't have it. What you arguing about?
What you arguing about?
Yeah, like I told women, guys, man, I don't make enough money. She make money and I don't have enough. I said a woman just wanted to know that if you make $825 and you manage your $825, a woman could be, I know I can depend on him and he'll, because dudes make $100,000 and then you see them girls out there. He got a Range Rover. He's flying all over the place, but he live in an apartment. And then when they get married, they start wondering, your car costs more than your apartment. Then they start wondering, oh, he don't manage money well. You saw that when you was dating him.
Wow. You
did see it, didn't you?
Wow.
But I mean, things to think about.
Yeah.
Things to think about.
Right.
So that's great. I like the transparency. So we all agree transparent.
Yeah.
So cheating doesn't necessarily mean indiscretion as far as sex or being
That's
unfaithful.
Right. That's
You can be
right.
cheating with your finances.
Come on.
Okay, and so we've been counseling, and one of the three things that we talk about a lot that is causes problems in a marriage. That is, money, communication, and sex. Those three things basically, or hindrances or problems with couples in their relationships. And
So what I heard in the core of the thing is you can have your separate accounts, but you are keeping each other informed,
Yeah.
and you're giving each other access.
Yeah.
And you also have this account that takes care of household
the
things
primary
as
account.
well.
The primary.
And then the final thing, as my husband has said, is that you've made each other aware of everything.
Yeah.
And you've pooled your resources.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
And we have freedom
yeah,
with our secondary. He's not saying, okay, now you can only spend this XYZ from your secondary account. No. If I don't spend any money a whole month, hooray for Jackie, right? Because it's my responsibility. Now, what I'm accountable to myself.
Yeah.
That I don't overspend, overindulge. Thank God I've learned that I don't have to shop all the time.
Right.
I save. I save my money.
Shop all the time. Amazon knock on our door. If it ain't 2 days, ain't nothing came to the house. Y'all all right there, Mr. Jones? Now, you said something that I hear people say, so I want you to help me with it. Sometimes I hear people that saying they feel combined or they have to answer to somebody. I've never felt like that in my marriage, that I didn't have freedom. That, like when the money in the pot, I just never felt, if it's there, she spend it.
Yeah.
I'm joking, y'all, because the last, 4 or 5 months, I done spilled so much money. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And my baby's been like, so thank you. So yes, do what works for y'all. So we were telling you some stuff that works for us, and y'all saw that 5 reasons men don't cheat. I won't talk about that, right? Okay. 5 reasons. Same one said I would get caught. Hey, I'm getting honest. Some of y'all ain't gonna like the answers that men have been telling me in service. He's like, you love your wife, yeah, but I would cheat if I didn't think I got caught. They being honest. Accountability. So he knows as a man, he says, friend, it's too much out here. I don't go to the club. I don't do this and that. I play my Xbox at home with my friend because we need to be held accountable to each other.
Yeah.
That's what works for him.
Yeah.
And he ain't no weak brother. He a strong brother because he knows, no, I'm not putting myself in front of shaky. You know what I mean? I ain't doing it.
Well, you know what, what's your temptation.
Thank you.
And so you don't play around the temptation.
Right.
You stay, once you realize your weak area, you stay away from it.
Right.
Even if that means that you need to stay at home, find something to do with your boys, find something to do with your girl. Stay away from things that tempt you.
Right.
Brother Samson in the Bible. You want to talk about it?
yeah. I mean, just 5 reasons. First of all, when when my wife and I met, we met in a club. We weren't saved, but I was at a point in my life to where that I didn't want to just date. I could date this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl, but I had come to a place in my life where that I wanted one girl. And so, therefore, when I found her, in reality, I was looking for a wife, but I didn't know it.
Right.
And I was not saved, but I was looking for a wife, somebody I could commit to and dedicate myself to, and she the same with me. Okay. And so now, after we get married, I'm committed to her. So like to say, it's cheaper to keep her. And if you try to have more than one, you're asking for nothing but heartache and pain. Amen. Yeah. So therefore, I'm committed to her. I'm committed to the vows that we made at the altar before the preacher and the witnesses. And so therefore, my heart is with her. I love only her. I'm not interested in anybody. So therefore, and the love of God in me constrains me to be faithful to my wife. And so that takes a strength. That takes commitment. That takes dedication. Yes. And some people might say, well, I can't do that. You mean you've been faithful 38 years? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have. And I will be until Jesus comes. Because she's more woman than I could ever ask for. I ain't got time for no heartache and pain. I'm too old for that.
All right.
Trying to sleep around and tip around. I ain't got time for that.
And he started at 19. So
Men, don't cheat.
Right.
Yeah. He started at 19. And the reason I have this subject is, see, I wasn't like that. I had nice women in my life. I had, nice women in my life. And I fooled around. I ain't talking about my marriage, talking when I was single. That's my definition. I heard my friend say, well, it's not, we weren't committed, so he got 5 or 6 women. So she said, we're not really committed. But I asked myself with the nice people that I had around, and I was asking other guys who had cheated and no longer cheat, why you don't cheat? Those were the things that they were saying. And I want y'all to notice in there, none of them said love. Dudes didn't say love. They, this one guy, he had fly women in. He had fly them in, and he fly to them. Like 3 weeks ago or a month ago, he came to me. I got the one. I'm looking, I'm laughing. I'm straight up laughing. You got the one? I won't tell you the names that I called them. You know that, what's that little instrument? I could say that, right? That's what he was. That's what he was.
The tool.
Yeah, he was that tool, right? Nice guy. So, love the Lord, But when it came to that, so I was curious why. I asked him. This is what he said. She got my back. He didn't say love. I called up he just called me. Another brother just called me. I said, why are you different with this woman than the beautiful, lovely wife that you had that did everything for you, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, respect and sex. The guys weren't mentioning love. It's like, and women kind of were asking me that. Well, if you love somebody, you won't do that.
Yeah.
But that would be the same as me saying if my wife disrespect me, and I said, well, you don't love me because you disrespected me, or because you did something wrong. For some reason with guys, none of them mentioned love. Oh, that's right. The other guy that called me, he said love and you said love. Mm-hmm. 2 people. And mine up there that you've seen is, these are the love things that I need that acts. I need accountability. I need communication. I need transparent. I need sex. I love my wife, but those are the components for me.
For you, yeah.
That keep me from not cheating. Because I was like, I don't. So I was like, why? I never did. I just didn't think about it until we were having this conversation. You got something to say, producer? Yeah.
Well, as I'm listening to the conversation, I'm watching you say love didn't make the top 5. And I'm thinking about just how we think about things. And so even in my own marriage, I don't know if love will make the top 5, but I will say this is that there was a friendship component before we got married.
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
And so my thing was I had to get with somebody that was my friend for this reason.
Yes.
I take friendship very seriously, and I never wanted my friend to look at me and say, I can't believe you did this. That goes back to the accountability.
Yes.
And so the thing is, if you love yourself, you wouldn't do this. That's not necessarily true. How many things do we hurt ourselves and we love ourselves?
Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
That's good.
If you love yourself, you wouldn't stop at McDonald's every day. If you loved yourself,
That's right.
if you loved yourself, you wouldn't do certain things, but you love yourself.
Yeah.
So love don't necessarily have anything to do with it in most cases with how we think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're usually, because men are more so acts of service types of things. We're going to show you our love more so we're going to tell it. We're going to do it. So that's why I was looking at that and said, man, I can understand why love didn't make the top 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Hey, all right. We just, for the women, I know you may, every time I say that, like, well, love and love and love, and I said, we love you, right? we just think a little bit different. But the love is just as strong as your love. But we just do. Sometimes we do some silly stuff. But you saw that survey. If y'all could get away with it, it said only a 6% difference. If you thought you could get away with it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the next one if you want, or whatever one you want to
So
throw
when
something out, give us some of that wisdom and counseling. We're going to try to throw it y'all way for a minute.
Oh, well, just being accountable. We talked about being accountable. Communication. You mentioned that men aren't always communicating the way women do. There's I guess there was a scientific research that said that women speak 15,000 more words a day than men. And so, therefore, we know that women don't have a problem with expressing themselves verbally, but sometimes men do. And then some of us don't. But we have to learn those things. And so, but also being transparent. We have to be transparent about yourself. So, like, if somebody is watching, you're thinking about getting married, be transparent about yourself. Open yourself up. If you got some things, some issues about yourself, you need to open up and talk about it.
Right.
And even afterwards, in reference to, we talked about sex, but I won't go into that part.
Okay.
I do have some things I would like to say, but I'll save that for another time. But being transparent, even after marriage.
Yeah.
After you grow, because like my wife and I, we got married early. I was 21 and she was 20. And so therefore we had to grow together. Early 20s, she has things about herself. She's I would say girl. I'm a boy. Okay, and so we get in our middle 20s now. We're evolving as men and women, and so therefore there are some things that might be going on with me now that was not going on with me when I was 21.
Yeah.
And so I need to be transparent. If my mindset is changing about life, about things, I need to be transparent and tell her what's going on with my thought process. Well, I had to learn the same thing about her. She liked yellow, was her favorite color at 19, but now she's 25. I don't like yellow no more. You know what I'm saying? And so we evolve. Even from 25 to 40 to 50 to 60, we evolve. We're consistently evolving, and things happen. Things change within our bodies, the way we look, the way we feel, the way we think.
Yeah.
And so if things ain't like they used to be, well, then we need to be transparent and talk about it.
Right. And we have to give each other grace.
Grace to grow.
When you said that thing about, things happening with your body,
Yeah.
Right now, driving on the highway is very scary to me. I have anxiety about it. So, but all my life, I never experienced that. So that was something that was very scary for me. And now, if I can avoid the freeway, I do. So we have to give each other grace as we're going through different things as well. Yeah. Even at those times of childhood, when you're having children and you're raising kids, you don't have the time for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things, you got to still be connecting with each other and finding ways to spend time. If you don't do anything but, hey, we need to when the kids get old enough, honey, let's go get us ice cream cone. Whatever it takes for you to spend some time together, you got to do that.
You have to. I just want to talk about real quickly about if you're single. There may be some that are listening that are single and really want to be married. It is so vital. It is important that you be transparent. If you're dating and you're having these conversations, you're out on a date and he's sharing with you what he like about you or what he's looking for, be transparent with him. Let him know you don't like to cook. Let him know
I can't cook.
So that he won't come into the relationship thinking that you can do all these things. Now, what I do recommend is that you learn how to cook. Now, there were some things when my husband told me that when he came to visit me, he saw that I was cooking. And immediately he thought, oh man, she can cook. Well, what he didn't know, that was my first time frying chicken.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm 18 years old. And so he thought, wow, she could cook. But I really didn't know how to cook. But what I did do, I got with my grandmother and continue to get teachings from my mother how to cook. Because why? I'm getting ready to get married. My mindset is I want to make sure that I can cook for him. Now, when we got married, there was dishes that I did over and over and over. Did he complain? Not at all. But I constantly perfected cooking, learning, getting new recipes. So never get tired of growing. Never get tired of maturing. Want to be better, get better, do better, be better in your relationship.
Right. And my husband has a thing up there that says, understand my vision. Now, he'll have to explain what that meant. But for me, one thing I realized early on in our relationship, now I knew this, I understood this, but I didn't always act like this, was my husband is the visionary for us. He's always looking at how are we going to grow in God? What do we need? What ministry do we need to start? In my head, I'm thinking, well, we were just fine as associate ministers at the churches we were at. Why can't we do that? Because God has given me another vision. You know, we've grown past that. I wanted to stay in my comfort zone, Sister Jackie.
Yeah.
I want to stay in my comfort zone and do what I know I can do.
Yeah.
But a visionary is always stretching themselves. And when my husband talked about a podcast, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I don't want to be talking in front of a bunch of folks, And I was like, Lord, you're going to have to help my attitude.
Yeah.
Please help my attitude. So it's going to be some things you're not going to want to do, Pastor Van. But thank God, he always seems to give the vision to the man because he is the priest of his house and the head of the household. But that doesn't mean I can't be a part of it. But, now my husband will explain to you what he meant by
Too, and this is like understanding my vision. A lot of men, not just me, they have vision and things they want to accomplish. First thing some women will say is it'll say, where this money coming from? How you gonna do that? We need to take care of this, instead of saying how we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get there? Understanding, and I'm the same way when we and her talk. She has her because we are mates. She goes along with my vision, but she has gifts and visions also.
Yes.
That she does.
Yes.
So it ain't like it's all about me. It's about us.
Yes.
That's why we're together. And I wanted to give you a bonus thing that's not on there that I found in every successful marriage where the brothers say they don't cheat or they stop cheating. All of them had the same thing in that stream through all of it. They all had something that they did together.
Yeah.
All of them were trying to grow a business, or they did line dancing together. Or they bike ride, or they roller skate together. Every one of them, the couples, had something that they did together. Every one of them. And I didn't dawn on me first. At Terrence, I was like, God, yeah, they do this and that. And they didn't really notice it, but because I was doing survey, asking and talking to some good men, all of them, that's what I saw in their marriage, that they had some kind of vision that they worked together. And it can be anything. That's why the empty, what's that silly stuff? Empty nest syndrome. When people say their kids all walk away and they talking about, ooh, ain't nothing to do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get to going. I got things to do. Me and my wife had things to do.
All right.
Well, we did our thing. So I didn't get that empty nest stuff. I was like, we had a vision. Either though you may have been taking your kids here and that, maybe you were saving, like we're saving up for this radio station. Even though we're doing all that kind of stuff, but we have plans each other so you can talk about it, be excited about it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you should all have together.
So I wanted to jump in as the producer. Now we have 2 married couples on the panel, and I'm just going to assume that everybody on the panel is over the age of 35, right?
Barely.
I think so.
So, what us young folk, a lot of time we talk about the disconnect when we start talking about, church and ministers and people that are, prominent in church, is a lot of times there's always a sense of we're always missing that realness, right? So, we were talking about transparency. And on that list, y'all skipped one thing. Y'all touched it a little bit, but it was sex. And outside of finances, marriage is not working on there, right? And we talked about the cooking, but a lot of times what makes us say, oh man, y'all holier than thou, is because y'all won't go into that. So if y'all could for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Who's scared of that?
But the thing is that I'm not saying that you guys are scared of it, but a lot of times that's what turns a lot of the young people away, because they're like, okay, we came in for, because when we're with each other, we talk about this, and then we come in for the guidance, and it's like patty cake around it.
Oh, I can help you out, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Let's
make
go
sure
into
ain't
it.
nobody under 18 on there right now. He has a late night show that grown folks, he has a late night show called The Last Podcast. Oh, it's real. So, yeah, that's a real show right there. Late night show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, because we had this, some of the podcasts, we kind of touched on it. Most men, or at least that I know, are morning people. I wake up after 8 hours, I'm ready. My wife wake up, she got to go to the job. She got to, she ready to go to the job. Her mind's somewhere else.
But I'm retired now.
She retired now. But we had to address that.
Yeah.
We had to address that to figure it out, because she was like, baby, nighttime is the right time. And I'm like, when I'm ready is the right time. Right? That was me. When I'm ready, nighttime. But I knew as a man some of the things I had to do. What are the things I do to make you say, oh yeah, I'm going to be ready? Because I cook. I clean. I do things to take the burden off of her so I can get the cookie that I want. That's what I do. I start in the morning time. In the morning time when she go, I call my wife 3 times a day, and I don't give away this secret. I didn't want to tell y'all why, but I don't help the brother out since he said give away my secret. I call my wife when she first gets to work, because she's bothered by traffic. This traffic, this is just killing me. So I hit her up. Right. After lunch, I hit her up. This boss getting on my last nerves, and I'm ready to stop this job. I call her just before she comes home. Have a safe trip, baby. I love you. She'll tell me if she want me to pick up something. By the time my wife gets home, I watch the basketball game, do whatever I want, because I done talked to her all day long. I know what's going on. So that's my little secret I tell guys. So when she come home, she didn't talk to me all day. So she ain't trying to, bum rush me. I ain't trying to bum rush her. She can die down. But I still send my wife roses. We went to the dollar store. We have, we got 3x5 cards in there, back rub, kisses, all kinds of stuff in there. Sexual stuff that we want, where we want to do it and all that. All that kind of stuff, because I refuse to not have as much fun as I thought I was having when I was single. I have more fun now because I'm planning it. I can see it. I'm comfortable. We know what's going on. Yeah. So we can talk about everything.
Right.
I was celibate before we got married. So I wasn't like when I was young. I knew what was going to happen. She did this and that. I wouldn't have known with my wife, but I talked about it. This is what I like. Are you willing to do this for me? Be comfortable with it. If it's not comfortable with you, okay, we may have a problem, because I've asked beforehand. Is this helping you out any? I need an amen or something. But yeah, we talked about sex. I mean, really talked about it. Because one of the other things I had to learn when I was out on the street, I don't know other guys' experience. I know all my brothers because we talked about it. I would think about somebody I ain't seen in 20, 30 years. They just pop up into my head because I was connected to them. You shaking your head. So, you know, I had to learn to pray that out.
Yeah.
I don't watch certain things on TV. I know a lot of young girls now at my job, this is what they say. I take my man to the club, to the strip club. And I say, you know, when he gets home, you do everything right. His mind on that strip club girl. Mm-hmm. That's his fantasy and stuff, not you. Mm-hmm. You become his fantasy. But if you let him do all of that and none of them together, like I said, well, how's your man? Y'all still connected?
Wow.
Now we broke up.
Wow.
I said, I guess the strip club didn't work.
Didn't work.
I'm telling you, as a man, I'm gonna show my wife tapped me. I'm through. I'm tapped out.
Well, he just brought out the point. Now, it's been said that women are like an iron that has to warm up, and men are like matches. You just strike it. So my husband just shared with men, you got to learn how to warm your wife up. Mm-hmm. So if I was to talk to ladies, I use the alliteration words. You ask what he likes, what he wants. You ask him for help so you can have time to enjoy. And you aim to please him and then appreciate him. Mm-hmm. Let him know every day that you appreciate him. And you know, appreciation is not just words. You can pass by him and touch him. Mm-hmm. You know, pass by him and kiss him. You know, rub him on the head when you're going by. Tell him you still like his style. I shared with my aunt just the other day. I said, you know, I tell my husband sometimes I still like his style. She said, what you mean? I said, well, he likes to help people. He likes to encourage folks. And I said, every now and then I just tell him, because I used to tell him when we were dating, you know, I like your style. And she said, I know somebody like that. She used that opportunity to pump up her husband. So, yeah. But now you two can add, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, sex is one of the things that can cause problems in marriages. I know one spouse, you know, may have more of a passion or a drive, you know, for lovemaking or for sex or whatever. And then sometimes, you know, because of work and raising kids, and you can kind of lose touch on that subject, you know. But therefore, and then that's why you have to rein yourself in and say, hey, you got to remember, you know, okay, we still need to do this. I know you're tired, and I know the kids are getting on your nerves all day, and all you want to do now is like bathe and go to sleep. Well, there's got to be some sacrifices. Like, okay, well, come on here, let's do it. You know.
Yes.
But again,
stuff, yeah.
You know, you have to. It has to be on your mind, you know, and not just in your pants. It's got to be on your mind. And as far as warming up, hey, if he's not warming her up, then hey, the woman or whoever got to say, hey, you need to warm me up. We need to do something. Bring me some flowers, or I got to take her some flowers. I got to do something. A lot of times, we fall off the wagon. Those things. It's not because you want to. It's just because life happens.
Yes.
You know, and you know, again, the wives are good, typically, at helping us in the places where we fall short. And so, and therefore, we have to allow them, the woman, to help us in those areas, you know, especially if it's in that area. Now, it can go both ways. There can come a time where the wife is like, I'm hot to trot, come on, let's get it. And the man, the brother, like, man, I'm tired, I work 10 hours, this, that, and the other. But hey, you are not your own no more. You belong to me, so let's go, let's get it.
And that's what I mean about talking.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who out there, the men, I know y'all talk, so I'm going to help my producer out, like he said, because he about the age I was, quickies. See, before me and my wife got married, I said sometimes I just want a quickie. Then she told me, God's good, sometimes I want a quickie. I was like, oh,
okay.
Hallelujah. But because we communicated it and talked about it, it's like, okay. And she told me what she needs to be to get ready and all that, which meant I don't understand dudes that can't cook. I'm sorry, brothers. I don't really get that.
I can cook a little bit.
If you know,
I guess because you've been on your own.
Cook.
That's right.
But allow me to say
cook,
this.
Clean and everything.
Allow me to say this because you brought it up. Once you start aging, it's a known fact that men can start having erectile dysfunction, right? Not just as you begin to age, you can experience it at 35 and 40, okay? And then sometimes that can become a problem because the wife is wondering, like, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up? You don't want me no more? I'm not attractive? But the man is not want to be transparent and say,
right,
I am experiencing this. And that's why I'm not jumping on your bones every morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, but a lot of
It's
times, middle-aged men or women, because they may experience menopause and they're just not interested.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's where the transparency, the communication got to come in at.
That's right.
You got to talk about it. And I know that it's a prideful thing for a man to do because, I'm a man. That's what I do. That's what I am. But if you're not transparent about it, then it's a good possibility that now your wife or your partner is being tempted to cheat. Because you're not being transparent.
Yeah, you have to communicate. You got to share your struggles.
Yeah.
Whatever that struggle is, share that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been together, I don't know how long you've been dating, how long you've been married, but share whatever that struggle is so that you can come together, work it out, and plan.
Right.
For the married folk. Plan that date.
Plan a date,
when you're going to make love.
Yeah.
And so that it's not a struggle for the spouse. Whoever's struggling in that area, talk about it.
Right. And sometimes you may have physical problems with illness. Like for me, having rheumatoid arthritis, I wake up in pain and I have to stretch for at least a good 10 minutes before I can even move or walk to the bathroom. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
Now once I get going, I'm better.
You get going.
But but that's something I had to share with my husband, babe. It's not that I don't want to. I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And I have to work through that. Now you can help me. You can massage me. You could do whatever it's going to take.
To get me there.
To get me there.
Warm you up.
Warm me up.
Warm me up. And direct him.
Yes,
direct him.
yes.
What makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Direct him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Make
That
him
is good.
feel good.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to help you out here again. Don't tell your man or woman that they're doing something you don't like. I don't really like that. Works. Tell them what turn you on.
Yes.
Feed that into them. They'll do less of the
All
other
that other
things. That's
stuff.
in all things in life.
Yeah.
Don't tear them down. Just be like, baby, when you
Yeah.
that feeds the woman or the man. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure because
Plus,
some women out here, men, they be like you, and I'm like, yo. So now you think they're gonna?
But guess what?
Yeah,
When you tell them where it feel good at, you can
gonna
have
do
it
more.
the
Yeah,
next day,
yeah,
the
next
next
day.
day,
Thank
and
you.
the next day. I want some more because you hit the spot.
Yes. All right.
Amen.
All right. So,
Praise God.
in conclusion, we've gotten to the core of a lot of things in this men don't cheat topic. And we just want to
Women
thank
don't
the
cheat.
Alexanders for joining us on tonight. It's been a great conversation. At least I think it has
Oh,
been.
absolutely.
And I'm so glad that our producer also had gave us some questions to answer for perhaps some of our audience who may have had that same question. So, babe, you got anything you want to say?
Hey, I want to close it out. This is sponsored by Radio Therapy with Terrence J at gmail.com. if you want to do a podcast, if you're interested in doing an internship, free. He didn't say that, but I did. But you want to learn, he's a good man.
Yes, he is.
Go to
Very
Radio Therapy
professional.
with Terrence J at Gmail. I'm going to have him say his phone number. We want you to know we love you and appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Yes.
We appreciate that. And check out his pie show if you're over 18 and you don't mind some extra words. It's a good show, but it has extra words in it, just so that y'all know. You know I love you, right?
Yes.
Ah.
Right.
Hey, my brother, I appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir. Thank
Andy,
y'all
for
so
coming
much.
with us and blessing us with your knowledge and wisdom. And that core,
Yes, we communicate now, and we'll talk to you later.
amen. God bless everyone. Have a good day on purpose.
Bye.
Always counting us down. 5, 4, 3. I better get some comments in there today, too. My brothers, sisters.
Make some comments.
Yeah, all you people that be seeing me at work talking about, I saw you. Give me some comments.